this over promising sometimes backfire also. For example, when you show SKUs on the product, when we put an apple there, we try to make it look like the best apple in the world, right?
Oh, yeah.
True.
So later it started backfiring in two reasons. One, because people see those kind of an imagery with nature's basket, right?
Yeah.
And they assume that, okay, this is expensive. That's one. Second thing is that they think, hey man, a banana can't be like this yellow. There is something wrong, or maybe they are putting like too much pesticide. We were actually putting the clone tool actually to remove the spots, but they think like, okay, something is wrong with it. So we started shooting photos in a way that it is very real, authentic, and that also started building trust.
That also goes back to your consumer. The world is going, they have started understanding what is made up versus what is authentic.
Consumers can make out
very smart.
in minuscule images, right?
What do you guys do for Instamart? Do you guys like have actual images or?
So we go for actual images, much like the same reason. So the shiny apple syndrome is still there. If the apple is shining, I don't think it builds trust. Right? Like, so I think it's very important.
So counterintuitive.
It is counterintuitive for consumers. Like, and if the banana doesn't have spots, then it is actually a big concern, right? Like, and so showing authenticity is a very important part. Transparency, we talked about transparency, but equally good is important how authentic it feels. In an effort to glorify, we actually do more. We create more confusion for consumers, right? So sometimes by just showing as it is, which is to say, okay, this is how your biryani will be. This is how the packaging is. Sets the expectations.
And not really over communicating the
not
fact that
overcompensate for
otherwise
the lack of
biryanis would look the same, right? Like
exactly.
So sometimes even packaging, like we've been very clear in saying that, okay, this may not arrive in a great package, right? Like, so you have to understand that you love this restaurant, but this packaging is very average, right? Same time. So things like if it's coming from very far away, right? Like, you set wrong expectations. If people are still thinking the same hot food or the cold ice cream, we have to tell them, right? Like, we actually have a friction.
The quality of the food may be spoiled.
So it's coming from a very long distance. It's your favorite restaurant, we understand. But it's going to come from a very long distance. So please, so setting expectations, users, being very transparent, right? Like, creates authenticity, which builds trust over a period of time.
The savory hotel I order from, so sometimes I order from different geo, and this Swiggy nicely, it's very cute. They ask like, "Are you sure?"
This might take a while.
Nothing wrong
or you
with
could
that.
have actually gone wrong in the location. Right? Like there could have been a glitch or there could have been some challenge. So it's just.
I love whenever an app being like very honest about something. I really like it. If they are saying the packaging can be bad, then even if I get good packaging, that's a great experience.
That's a great experience.
If I get bad, that's a normal experience. Now you're promising proper delivery and I'm getting bad experience, then I will be furious. That's a difference.
See, I think when it comes to delivery experience, what we have learned is people are very forgiving, right? Like when it comes to product experience, they're very unforgiving, right? Like, if a consumer today doesn't see the information that they are about to see, they didn't make the right choices in the product, they are very less forgiving. They just churn out immediately, right? Because trust is being built inside the app and an interaction with the product. With the delivery community though, we have seen that very rarely people are unforgiving, right? Like, sometimes when we actually say there is traffic on the road, the person is coming in, pretty much rains and floods, right? Like, or even if you generally say this person could not make it for other reasons, right? Like, so we don't know why he disappeared. People are very, very forgiving, which is why I think there's some amount of tolerance, right? So if you're building up, I mean, it's very important to look at the CX overall and, pretty much, but it's a very high bar on the product experience. And I know product experience here spans, for Swiggy though it spans from, start to end, but it's very important for the app experience to communicate, right? Like, that trust and transparency.
Yep, absolutely. So we have seen that in numbers. I mean, we designers love showing something in numbers because we rarely get a chance. Performance ad marketing is something where we can win. Right, so we can put like a hypothesis and show that it is working. So the project which Shriya was mentioning was the track order experience in Dunzo. So we made everything visible there. For example, he was talking about partner coming through traffic, but when you're just showing a map with a scooter moving, they don't really get the actual the fact that it's a human first of all driving. right? And there is traffic, and you need to know Bangalore routes, all this stuff, right? So we started showing this visually. You know, when the partner is moving.
Huge fan, by the way.
Also, the avatar communicating to you was beautiful.
And so there was this edge case where when it is raining, the partner is actually under a tree, bike is in the rain, and trying to protect the order, right? The package. Yeah. And then there is an empathy. So this showed in the numbers. So we have tipping feature, right? So in the tip, we used to get like 2-3 rupees.
I do it all the time. Yeah.
And that increased, and the call to the customer support also went really down, because people got that empathy. Okay, imagine it's raining outside. I want my pakoda at the same time. This guy is like getting pakoda for me, so I can maybe like.
In fact, your brand level go up because poor guy came in the rain and delivered.
Yeah,
even though pakodas are ruined, but pakodas came because this guy
empathy
actually
is a big factor.
And we started showing the tipping. We broke the number down into emojis. Like there is 5 rupees for a biscuit.
Yeah.
Like this much for education for the daughter. Like that.
Yeah.
And these started making a habit that like it's basically trust only.
So did that tip actually go to the partners?
Yeah, it actually goes to, and we publish that number also.
What do you think we do?
A lot of things that I ask is not just from my vantage
this is a
point.
very important question, and again, right, like being transparent by saying this partner, it's going to the delivery partner right away, and actually close looping after an order is finished by saying this delivery partner is now being paid the 30
because
rupee.
when I'm ordering from Swiggy, my business is with Swiggy. That's how the expectation of the user is. So sometimes what happens is partner goes to the store and he's waiting for the restaurant to finish the packaging and the cooking and everything, right? But if you're not giving that information, user thinks that, okay, why Dunzo is taking time or why Swiggy is taking time. So our imagery there, it's that partner is outside, he's
waiting,
the key and he's chewing gum. Say, I'm here, but...
Yes, see, this is a great topic, segueing into empathy, right? Like, empathy building trust. In terms, sometimes we've gone to the extent by saying this restaurant has got some 50 orders in the past 1 minute, right? There's a lot of rush in the restaurant.
Heavy ordering,
the delivery partner cannot do anything. They are still doing their best to communicate. And actually giving a phone number of both the delivery partner and the restaurant upfront, right? Like, so basically they can build that empathy there, right? Like, so the demand is off the charts. We are doing our best.
Right.
That also builds empathy.
Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah,
Interesting.